Olugbsean. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. You feel me? But yo, I want to get on here. We on go. Chosen collective, you are on go. And what does that mean? It means a lot of things. You know what I'm talking about? That means whatever your situation is, if it's negative things, be on go to get rid of them. And on your positive side, be on go to go manifest the things that you desire. Most definitely, the Most High wants you to take your time as you do it so you don't get frustrated. Be patient with it. It's like art, you know what I'm saying? It's like drawing. It's like painting a picture. You take your time. It's like putting a puzzle together. You know what I'm saying? Just like you've done everything so far in your life. That's what it's like. The ops, you don't have to worry about them. They got not only what they got going on now, but they got a lot more that's coming. Most High said he about to put them in the dirt. But for some apparent reason, they still just don't want to stop doing the things that they're doing behind the scenes. Their biggest problem is comparing themselves with you. How is it that this person could do this and that and the third, but I can't do it? But in all actuality, it's not meant for you to do it. You're supposed to be grateful for what you already have. It's not like they use the gifts that they have in a positive way. They actually use it in the wrong way, which is to harm people. You know what I'm saying? Some of you guys probably haven't even heard me say, pick a side, something like that. Or the righteous versus the wicked, that as well. But before all of us came to this planet, we already decided what side we were picking and what we were gonna do in the process. And that doesn't mean there's no change in the process. It's up to our decision. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us been on that other side doing things and saying things and hanging around people and stuff like that we shouldn't have been around or saying or doing things. But nevertheless, a lot of us decided at some point to actually change our behavior and our mindset. And so your haters, your ops, the people who do this wickedness in high places, still trying to understand why you get what you want or what you actually truly deserve. They don't know all the hard work and all the sweat and tears that you've done behind the scenes. Some of you guys even actually cried in front of others. You see what I'm saying? So they don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? They numb themselves with a lot of, addictions is the word we're going to use. So they wouldn't have their feelings pouring out, which a lot of people don't understand that crying is healing. You know, when you think about the water that comes from your eyes, it's purification. You know, that's on a spirituality standpoint. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I'm not going to say it's not spoken in the church because I will have to be at every church to understand that. But every pastor or pastorette, we ain't going to get into that. But those who are anointed will be able to actually give that confirmation of what I stated, because for the simple fact is that the Most High didn't choose everybody to speak to others. You know what I'm saying? The devil most definitely picked his, and it was and still, rather to say, up to people to decide who's telling the truth. You know what I mean? So it's very important to understand that the Most High love you because the Most High is in you. The Most High is in the wicked as well. Trust me, the Most High then talk limitlessly to the wicked, and they still decides to continuously to do the same old crazy stuff, insane. But I tell people all the time, the biggest magician is the Most High. You can't get no better than that. And all that fall behind them is the essence of that magician, which they don't miss the mark either. I've even mentioned that, and that talks about the Most High don't miss his mark. He don't. They said, well, how do you know he? The Most High is a he. What's going on, y'all? It's good with it. Avery, welcome. But even with your relatives, they still doing the spell work. A lot of y'all don't really even know, man. It's crazy, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, man, put it this way. when us chosen get on here and we speak comfortably, it took us a minute to get to this point to be able to talk to others because others have opinions. They like to reject. They like to send evil eye and say nasty things. When the whole time all you trying to do is just help them because you learned that you was able to help yourself by actually showing them what you did. You know what I'm saying? Step by step. Now, it's truth to say that everybody on the planet can't say that they got their stuff together because it's not true. You know, that's a process. You know what I mean? And even us being in the place that we are, which we all on different timelines, is that we got something together versus nothing. So what I'm saying to say is there's a lot of people on the planet that don't have nothing together. It looked like it is, but it's not. Even being an entrepreneur and doing business with other people that I've, especially like recently, you know, they church going people and so forth, so on. And one of them say they chosen, but you know, I'm not gonna be disrespectful. I've said it before. I did a short about people who are older. If they were chosen, which is probably a few, I'm not gonna say it's not, but the reason why I say it's none, because you see none stand up to all the wickedness that's been going on for so very long. Let's put it that way. I was about to say so many something else, but so very long that wickedness been going on for a long time. And the only time we've seen anybody do it, even though we wasn't here for most of us, the witnesses, was Dr. King and Michael X and Marcus Garvey. They wanted the best for everybody, but they knew they had to start in their own community because every other community had their division, which is still today. You know, it's very interesting that many cultures worship the Most High or Yahshua, aka Jesus, but they hate people. They hate other cultures, other races, or they don't fellowship. So what I'm saying to say is, how do you explain that? You know, most people would ignore it, but how would you explain the fact that you say even if you use people who have a mindset of manifestation, saying they're a positive person or they're a positive thinker, how do you demonstrate that when you show some other things in your life, in the areas of your life that you haven't worked on? How do you explain that for someone who's looking from the outside looking in with the inconsistency? And then if someone speak to actually correct the intentions or the mistake, however you choose to view it, why is it that a person get offended when the whole time the person's only doing but looking out for them? You know, that's what people do, right? If they call themselves friends or connection, they look out for one another, right? So what I'm saying to say is that you find a lot of people who are contradicting themselves. They're really not spiritually in tune, because that allows you to pay attention to your physical body. A lot of people are scared of spirituality, but you are a spirit, aka soul, in a physical body. The question would be, what is there to be scared of? We know the doctrines and all the fears where they came from. They came from the powers that were, meaning people that's in the high places, people are in certain positions that call the shots. But the Most High is the one that truly called the shot, because he allowed people to do what they want to do with their free will. There's a scripture where it talks about the Most High said, I shall not intervene with your free will. Because if that was the case, we'd all be in line, you know? The Most High practically just sits back and watch people to see what actions they're going to take, and how they're going to interact, not only with themselves, but also people, and how consistent they're going to be either or some people do both. You know, negative, positive, put it that way. Or you say good and evil. And that's what the Most High is going to judge people on. I was just talking to this young lady not too long ago. I let her borrow some money. She's giving me the runaround, and I'm not mad at her because it's a saying, don't never give something that you can't afford to give. You know what I mean? A lot of us been in that situation. Some may be in that situation now. Always give what you can afford to give, and don't be stingy or selfish to give to other people, because the reality is you could lose your blessing because God could put somebody in your life for you to actually help, just to see if you're going to still help people, because people are going to betray you. And what you're supposed to learn from betrayal is strength, wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and also your gift, which is a gift of discernment. Your gift of discernment is going to be able to give you the ability to actually navigate who's who's not for you, who is for you. And you have to understand that it's very important not to be holding on to people and things and places, and also questioning everything unless you're looking for clarity, for peace. Most people ask questions, been there, done that, from frustration. We're not asking questions from a wisdom input. We're looking for it in a whole opposite of that. The Most High is very gentle with us, because a lot of us do a lot of stuff we shouldn't do, and say a lot of things we shouldn't say, and we just take action and say, I deal with the repercussion later. We got to be very mindful of saying we want to deal with some repercussions later, because the reality is we don't even know what the repercussions going to be, but we manifesting saying that we want to deal with the repercussions. Man, look, I can speak of countless situations, not that anyone's confused, but just to give a couple scenarios. Unprotected sex, getting into the wrong type of relationship, leaving one job and going to another because of pay. Just speaking of that, the pay is not the problem. It's what you're not saving as you make money is the problem, which is money behavior, or behavior with money. I learned that by research. I learned that by studying. I wanted to understand where the generation curse, or curses with an S, comes from. And everybody got generation curses until you break them. A lot of people say, well, no, I ain't got it because I got X, Y, Z. Yeah, you're going to have some people that got some materialistic things more than you, right? But internally, they don't have a good heart. They're bitter, they're miserable. They always talking smack. They always fighting. They always starting stuff. They may be in and out of jail. They always gossiping. They always slandering. They always wishing ill will on others. Make it make sense. Now, see, what I'm saying to say is a lot of time people look at that as a person being blessed. And a lot of people want that spot. So then you'll find yourself actually drowning in doubt and lack of faith. And this is how the devil be manipulating people. But you also a part of it too. So we can't give all the power to the devil, because he ain't got none. He only move how you move. If you open up doors, he just gonna increase what you feel and what you think. That's how the devil works. He's not no trickster like that. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. Everybody knows that. And if a person who don't know it, they can learn it. That's how easy it is to define how the devil moves and how other people move too. Because the Most High is not going to make them intelligent enough to be smarter than him. Then also, the Most High is not going to make the wicked intelligent enough to abuse and hurt other people. You know what I'm saying? You get that gut feeling. Some tell you not to do something, or some tell you go that way or this way, or some tell you get away from people, situation, relationship, whatever. Do that. Don't be like, well, I got to do this first, man. Don't do that. That might cost your life. You see what I'm saying? And it's going to cost a lot of people life, because in all actuality, they've done this. I've even seen in some situations where I could have got bamboozled. But because the grace of the Most High is what saved me. So, a lot of people be like, why do I talk about the Most High so much? Because I've seen supernatural miracles. They're like, well, what's that? What is supernatural miracles? Supernatural miracles is things that humans have not seen besides those who have or experienced, that things that come out of nowhere. Only you and God know your circumstances, situations, and there's nobody around to help you. And those who do acknowledge that something could be wrong, or those who do acknowledge you, don't even reach out to see if you need anything or if everything's okay. So when I say supernatural things, I can name two things for me. And I've said it before, and I probably said it many thousands more times, because you're always going to have new faces. Some people are like, oh man, he's saying the same thing. No, it's not always going to be the same. But for those who don't know, this helped them on their journey to get motivated and inspired and get their faith back in order. That I was paralyzed twice, and as you can see, I'm walking. I didn't go to no hospital. I ain't see no therapist or none of that. I just asked God, could you please heal me? You know I can't do it, but I got faith in you. I believe in you. I know that you are real. And I mean, I've had other testimonies that I will speak about in due time. It ain't just that, it's just so many, it's so many. You know, it was very tough for me last year to swallow a pill that is not the red pill or the blue pill when it came down to, and I'm still not knowing everything, but just a little bit that I've learned really hurt my feelings. It really put me in a sad place because, you know, when you grow up and you learn that people that are related to you supposed to be family, right? But in all actuality, you'll find different type of activities and behaviors of each individual that acts different towards you. You'll see the love and you'll see the hate. But the point is that these relatives that I signed a spiritual contract to the Most High saying they would be my relatives and they would be the ones to teach me lessons. It's another thing about your relatives teaching you lessons. That the attempts on my life to take me out of here because they had went to a prophet or a priest or priestess. Excuse me 1 second. All right, excuse me, y'all. And to see what the prophecy was over my life. And once they saw what the prophecy was over my life, that's when everything began that I had no clue about. I always was wondering about a lot of different things about my life and why my life was many question marks. I seen many gifts that I had. I saw how I was treated. I was treated like black sheep, an outcast. And I just realized within myself, I was like something special. What that special is, I don't know, but something special. And the closer I can get to it, because I'm not a know-it-all, is that being favored and covered and protected by the Most High. I can say all the detailed stuff all I want, but me just saying that is enough to get the point across. It allows others to understand the story, the pain, the struggle, the sacrifices that I made to get where I'm at. And a lot of people, for those who fit the category, feel that I don't deserve it, but they don't understand how many times that I fell down and how many times I kept getting up, how many times I fell down, how many times I got knocked around and I kept getting up. And so in all reality, I realized that about me in the journey, you know. But then when we come to this stage in life, it became even worse. It's probably the most worst I've ever experienced, because in all actuality, 4 years ago, I didn't know if I was coming and going with my mindset, because my mind had been taken over by people I've never met, people I never knew, but they knew me and they know me. They knew me better than I know myself. These people have studied astrology. These people they know my path better than I know my path. I don't know my path, besides I just know that I have a purpose to serve for the Most High. And then when the Most High tell me to give these messages, I give them to people raw and cut. And sometimes it's very soft spoken. Sometimes there's silence. Sometimes there's nothing. Sometimes it's just me showing people how God worked by saying nothing or even speaking. But in all reality, I understand that God is real, and I understand a lot more of my purpose than I ever have ever in my life. I just always knew it was something. And the reason why many of us chosen and the collective and many to come haven't gotten to that place or struggled to get to where we at now or even further is because the ops, because of witches, because of warlocks, because of family members, because of so-called friends, because of karmic relationships. You know, these things hinder us. You know, the demons, monitoring spirits. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's insane. It just feels and seems to others who will listen that it's not real, but it's real. Like one of the things I used to do, I used to take myself and I would compare myself to somebody else and say, well, why they not going through what I'm going through, but we believe in the same thing. And I understand at this point in my life that I can clearly say that because we all on different journeys, and because we all on different journeys, there's going to be different tests and different missions that we already signed in the spiritual realm that we were willing to go through and meet certain people. You know, I've met so many people that I've helped. I'm so grateful for that. Just my presence made them smile, made them have hope again, you know, changed the dynamic of their mindset where it went from negative to consistency of positivity. I've helped people not lose their lives, and I've seen people lose their life because they didn't listen to the warning. So, you know, it's something that you can't make somebody do. But, you know, when God gives you a message to give to somebody, you know, especially me, I done been there with a disobedient, not going to tell somebody this and that and the third. I'm going to tell you. And it's going to feel like that I'm chewing you out and I got this goal to make you feel bad, but in reality, I love you. And the person said, well, I've never experienced love, so I don't know if it's real love. That's the whole point. So you can get the experience and see the difference between those fake love versus the real love. I didn't understand what love was either because I wasn't loved, but when I realized how much the Most High had loved me and all the love that he showed me from doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing to doing good things as well, and to the point now just doing good things and not thinking about focus on doing anything bad, allowed me to actually understand what love is, along with him showing me how to love myself. See, you know, it's very important that a lot of people don't understand in their life. That's one of the most important things in their life they're lacking is self-love, self-healing, nurturing. You know what I mean? You got to go back to that childhood and heal those wounds because, you know, as a child, we always mistreated. You know what I mean? This is a generation curse. You see what I'm saying? This is why it's important to subscribe so you can get this information and this wisdom. Maybe you don't want it for you, but maybe somebody that you know that's in a situation does. And that gives them the opportunity because you can go tell them or you can send them over here. Either way it go, I'm wishing the well for everybody, even the wicked, because I don't have the heart like the wicked have. You see what I'm saying? I don't think about harming people. That's not on my mind. On my mind on a day-to-day basis, just love and just peace and happiness and joy and smiling and laughing. That's what's on my mind every day. Now, I'm gonna be honest. There is people that is not on their mind, so I do get distracted by those things. Just imagine being in the world and everybody smiling, laughing, and being happy, versus you the only person until you run into somebody who's a person that laugh and smile and that's very confident. They're not insecure about their body, their mind. They're not insecure about where they at in life. They can express themselves freely without worrying about being judged. Even if they're judged, they're still being themselves. This what made the chosen stand out versus other people. We don't care about what people say about us. And the reason why we don't care because we learn how to heal that. That's why we don't care. It doesn't even bother us. It has no meaning. So, you know, people, you know, it's another thing that God want me to say is that people look for him but him that is in you, as well as others, you see him by people's actions, how kind and generous they are. To simplify with those two words, there's much more. How peaceful people are. Even though I win another one, but those type of things, how nurturing and helpful somebody is. Like, it was a guy that I just recently helped. He was ratting and raving. He found out some things about his baby mother and stuff like that. What done in the dark come to light. And we're in the age of Aquarius, and people don't know what age of Aquarius is, meaning everything is exposed. Doesn't matter if it get to be on TV, television, however you want to call it, it's going to be exposed. And everybody's going to know, for those who ears and eyes is meant to see and hear it. That means the powers that were, meaning the people in high places or people who control the world, trust me, they getting their shit rocked. People that you know in your neighborhood, you can see they getting their shit rocked. I got so many stories that I've experienced recently. It's crazy. But anyway, to make the story short with him, he wasn't expecting me to help him, but God put on my heart to give him some finances, and I gave him some finances, and it changed his whole demeanor, and he got excited, like, yeah, man, appreciate you, bro. At first he was shocked, like, boy, I can't believe this. Like, I'm looking at him like, what? I said, boy, I can't believe you just did that. Like, bro, you just gave me some money. And so what I'm saying to say is, he's a person that's lost, but he's trying to find himself. He's struggling because he look at fake people as friendships, as well as we all have. But fake people are not real. It's obvious, true. If fake people were real, then you wouldn't have problems. Fake people bring problems to the table. Real people solve problems. That's the difference. If you got people in your life that's causing problems, or even yourself, then that's the essence of being fake. Now, I can scramble my brain and try to figure out, like a computer, why people get so excited about being fake and fake love and fake realness and fake this and fake that and egotistic driven and so forth, so on. But I don't have the capacity for that. I have a capacity for something way larger than that. So I can't shrink my brain, because that's what you're going to have to do, is shrink your brain, and you're going to have to dumb down to try to understand the mindset of others who think and move this type of way. You see what I'm saying? So it's a no-no. Put it that way. It was another word I was gonna use, but it's a no-no. So again, you're gonna find people who just gonna be who they're gonna be. They're gonna stay where they at. And as long as you understand that if you want something greater and more, you have to move silently, because them people want you right there where they at. And if you tell them what you're striving for, you best believe they're going to either verbally say it, mumble, or they're going to gossip to other people about it. And if you start showing people, for them people that you're close to, or you think they got genuine love for you, they're going to be hating. They're going to start sending a negative energy. Then you're going to start wondering why things are falling apart or why things not working, because you got to be. And then most importantly, you got to have that close relationship with the Most High, because when you got a close relationship with the Most High, you're not going to miss a mark. Even if you make the mistake, you'll learn from the mistake, and the Most High, because he's going to see that your loyalty is to him and not man, and that you're not willing to conform and be a follower, because all the people who conform is nothing but sheeps. I got people who I see not only in my chat, but other people chat, they're very rude, disrespectful. But the difference between us, you versus them, is that you're the lion and they the sheep. The sheep is the one who get told what to do. The sheeper or the sheep herd or whatever you want to call it. Matter of fact, they call him my man told me today, and I don't know why I always forget it, but put it this way. We can name all kinds of things, because they write words every day and all day, make up different kind of definitions and so forth. So we're going to call the sheep herd gatherer, who gathers the sheep and they direct them from one place to another, either left, right, forward, or backwards, or stand still. So what I'm saying is, there's a lot of sheep. This is factual fact. It's not no get back or one up, none of that. This is a fact. There's a lot of sheep that is sheep. It don't matter how many costumes the sheep wear to call his or herself shape-shifting and say, yeah, I'm the boogeyman, blah, blah, blah. But in all actuality, they're not doing nothing I'm doing. They're not doing nothing any of the females out here doing, which is speaking against the things that are wicked and wrong and telling people things they don't have no clue about that is going on in their life, and how to break generation curses, how to get in that position that you desire, where you're not even comparing yourself with the chosen. Because you got so many people comparing themselves with the chosen, there's no comparisons. And then you got those low vibrational sheeps. They say they love God and this and that and the third, but them be the same ones that doing wicked stuff. Whether it's being sneaky, lying, stealing, manipulating, killing, and instigating, home wreckers, you name it. They are the essence of it. They are the ones who do these things. They are wolves in sheep clothing. That's what they are. They're real wolves in sheep clothing. But they're not the big bad wolf, because a wolf versus a lion is explanatory. And that's why for those who come against or for the chosen, that's what they're going against. They can transform in something else, but they can't, because they're only two things. And it's a combination of one, a sheep and a wolf in sheep clothing. That's what they are. And then you got the sheep. It's only one of the two. But we don't entertain a lot of ignorance. You know, we might say something here and there, but we don't really entertain it for the simple fact because we understand many different things and the tactics of the adversary, aka enemy, aka devils. We understand that. So by us having that wisdom, understanding, it'd be foolish for us that's been given to us to actually go against the grain, which is knowledge and facts and truth. That's why we truth tellers. People don't like to be around us because we truth tellers. We're going to tell you about yourself because we want you to be the best that you can be. People don't look at it that way. They look at it like you're trying to pick at them or put them down. But people have to be able to distinguish the difference, because the people that putting them down is the people that you're hanging around, which is the wolves in sheep clothing. They're the one that treat you like any kind of way, and you accept it, and you have this depression going on, low self-esteem, and many other elements and characters that you don't deserve to have, but you got to be able to pick which side. You're only going to pick left or right, good or bad, good and evil, happy, mean, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing going to happen. That's what's very important for you to understand. Some of you guys going to get it, some of you not. Some just going to swipe away. That's fine. But people have to understand, you know, when I watch people swipe away, I was looking at my statistics and stuff like that. They swiping their opportunity. People don't even know what an opportunity is. They don't know what's for them because they're too busy, because they're a busybody, because them spirits is working to keep you busy and occupied from what you actually deserve and need, to keep giving you this nothingness that you ain't getting nothing, but you keep waiting on it. Like ain't nothing there. It ain't nothing there, but something there you would see progress. There's no progress at all. It's nothing there. And then people get to running and looking around like, man, how they get that? Why they get that? They don't deserve that. It's because they're paying attention. They're not swiping away. You know what's very crazy? People's biggest problem is they like to judge. They like to look at people and think they don't, that they think they know what they're talking about as far as their judgment. And also people lack in stand still, be still. You ever hear what it talks about? God says, be still. I had to practice that last year and the year before that by being still. Not be a busybody. That busybody can get you at the wrong place, wrong time, in trouble, and 10 times, a million times fold backwards than where you already at. I don't understand that why that people think that what we're talking about is a bunch of blah, 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 and that it don't make sense, or oh, it don't have anything to do with me because I got this and I got that and I got that and got this. Okay, let me just say this. If you got, I'm just use an example, whether you do or don't. If you got kids, right? If you got kids that's misbehaving, but you learn not to misbehave, don't you see the pattern of generation curse? Because that DNA and that structure that you've already broke the curses off of you, you have to be able to show them it so they can discipline themselves so they can break it off them. See, let me explain something about generation curse. This is just going off of research. When you break a generation curse, you're breaking it off yourself. You're not breaking it off your living family members or relatives, whichever one you prefer or both. You're not breaking it off of them for the simple fact because they got to do their own work, meaning the inner work within themselves to fix themselves in order to break the curse off of them, along with their children and so forth, so on. Now, the curse, not only that you're breaking by yourself, you're breaking the ones with your ancestors, which ones have transitioned over. So yeah, that's how that go. I'm glad I'm on here too. I'm like, man, let me get right. Let me get right on here real quick. You know what I'm saying? I got the time today, and I got time to come. But it's just real important for you really to take notes in your life, reflect on the things, you know what I mean? Spend some time to yourself and start giving all your energy to all these people, places, and things. Your energy's so out of whack and all over the place, you wonder why you don't got no energy for yourself because you're giving it to too many people, places, and things, and you ain't got enough for yourself. And that's why you fatigued, and that's why you frustrated. That's why it's easy for demons and entities and people to siphon your energy and stuff like that because you don't understand something that you have not been taught yet. This is another thing. It took me everything in my mind. My spirit already knew what to do. This is a testimony that just happened recently to show you how God worked and how far I done came. Because, man, like my attitude is a ticking time bomb. But because I have so much control over it, you would not know it unless I told you or unless it explode. And it had to be something major for it to explode. But because God is so good, I don't have to worry about that 99.9%. It's just that 1% is a chance. And that's slim to none. But as I was saying earlier, as an entrepreneur, the gentlemen that I'm doing business with end up receiving some funds. And then he told me, as we was doing some work together for somebody. Now, I didn't even say anything. I didn't say, okay, you're going to split the money. What you going to do? He held on to that money. Not only that he held on to that money, he kept it. And he had in his heart and his mind, his decision was already made up. See, he got, let me say this. When you meet a chosen, which you will never know unless they tell you, treat them with kindness. I'm just saying for real, unless you want to go through something that you ain't never experienced. And because the karma don't hit you, it will hit everything around you. It means people you care about and love, they can drop dead and get sick, all that, because God don't play about the chosen. I'm just going to, like the Bible said, touch my anointed, bring my prophets no harm. The chosen are prophets, males and females of all many different cultures. But if you don't want to listen, do what you want to do, like Tony Montana. Do whatever you want to, my friend. Do whatever you want to. But let me say this. So the next day, I really wasn't paying attention. Matter of fact, the next day is today. Wasn't really paying a lot of attention to it, but his car ended up going out on him. You know what I mean? And what I'm saying to say when I'm talking about my temper, it took everything, which my spirit was already at peace, because your spirit is always at peace because it wants your flesh to be at peace. And that's where people have the imbalance. They don't believe in the both working together, but there's plenty of people walking around them on a day-to-day basis showing that the spirit and the body work and it's balanced, and this is how you do it. All we can do is tell y'all, tell whomever, and then it's other people. We ain't here to force anything. And some people got in mind, well, I'll do it later, or I'll find you if I decide I want to do it, or I come back. If you think you can predict the outcome of something, you be God. But I could say this, there's a lot of people that thought that way, especially from my past, and I'm sure there's many other people who can witness to what I'm stating. That in their past, as well as my past, there's many people that was warned or was helped or they was treated a certain way and realized after we no longer was in their life that everything went to shit at some point. And then sometimes people get the revelation from the Most High, don't do this, don't do that to this person. This person is here to help you with X, Y, Z, and they just ignore it and mistreat them. That's why when men and women get good people in their life in the relationship, or people get good friends or job opportunity or some type of business opportunity, people will sabotage it. That's one of the biggest things we all have to work on, no matter how far we get in life, is not sabotaging things, which is meaning you getting in the way and messing it up. That's what sabotage means. Then you can go reread it and define it the way that would be comfortable for you to understand versus the way that I stated it. So some people are serious in life and some people are not. And you just have to find yourself deciding which one you're going to be, and you have to decide if you want to be consistent with it or not. Because if you're inconsistent, you're going to get inconsistent results. Doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter what you think going to happen. Doesn't matter if you get a temporary victory, whatever. If you're looking for temporary victory, there's plenty of them, but what's the ultimate one? So that means you're a small thinker. Not my opinion, not me picking at you. It's saying that you're a small thinker because you're thinking small, and when smallness, it increases to smaller. It gets smaller and smaller. It don't get big. So let me get to this point of the story, but so no, I already got to it. So practically with him, I heard him speak today that, and then I seen him had to get in a car with somebody else to take him home, whatever. But it took everything in my might, and I wasn't super mad, but I just, from yesterday and today, I just felt their spirits not being right. So like today when I was around them, we were working on the project and stuff like that, I didn't say anything to them besides when I said good morning or grand rising. I said good morning because I know they don't know what grand rising is. But I said good morning. You saw them not say nothing to me. They was already together early before we all got together today. And so they already had this conversation. That conversation they had was negative. And said, how you know that? Because people who are genuine are open to speaking and conversating, and you could tell by body language and the conversation and the energy. Energy don't lie, people do. And so the energy they had, and because of the Most High be whispering in my ear, telling me stuff, literally. I know people like, man, yeah, there's something wrong with you, you're psycho. No, there's no psycho, because you can find out the truth too if you just open up and be obedient. You'll see that it's a factual fact. That's how I can prove anything. Chosen ain't gonna do no lies now. I'm not saying anybody thinking that way based on what I just stated, but I'm just saying you do have some naysayers out there that question things, and that's good. You should question things. But I promise you, you go get you a God, which is really the Most High, you'll find out for yourself as factual facts, and people gonna look at you crazy the same way that you looking at me crazy and then thinking crazy. They're gonna look at you the same way. Then you're gonna get a taste of what you trying to dish out for those who be hating in the back. I ain't talking about those in the front, I'm talking about them haters in the back, them ops. People who don't know you, they become something that they dearly will regret later on. Like a news flash. You see what I'm saying? So each his own though, because I don't be entertaining a lot of ignorant stuff, if any ignorant stuff at all. But it's very important for me to do my job, and this is what I'm doing. Doing my job, speaking, saying what I need to say, saying what I'm supposed to say, and moving forward. What people decide to do with what I'm saying or decide to be absent of the present, that's their accountability, not mine. Even if they don't know what accountability means, even though they were like, well, I don't have to be, and I don't have to be responsible. Hey, it's free will. You can choose to do whatever you choose to do with your free will. The consequences are nobody's consequences besides yours. And those consequences of those who may be around you is still their consequences because they have free will to choose not to be around consequences of others who are going to create consequences to put them in harm's way, which they are putting their own self in harm's way. Even if they point the finger and say, well, he the one shot somebody. I'm just using an example. He shot him. I ain't do nothing. I was just in the car. Well, consequent for you being in the car, right? You knew he had the gun or not. He shot somebody, and because of that, the law works the way they want it to work, which is like, well, we can't exempt you because we don't know if that's true or not, and we done had so many scenarios, blah, blah, blah. So they actually, in divine order, when it comes down to that law, of making sure everybody get a taste of the situation, so they can find out what's really going on, because somebody's gonna tell, because that's what people do. For those who do it, they tell. They go back to accountability and responsibility. They ain't owning up to it. Like, nah, I'm good. Nah, not me. Pineapples. But, and and I ain't giving no praise about, you know, him now having to pay a lot more money than what was given to us for him to split. He's having to pay way more money. And I bet you he ain't thinking about none of that. And on top of that, he ain't even thinking about, hey man, I want to apologize, from yesterday, woo, woo, woo. He's not even doing that, but here's the point. The point is this, that he says that he's a church-going person, but everybody who said they go to church don't mean they're connected to God. I want people to get an understanding of that. And this is why people don't go to church. There's very traditional. Shouts out to ones who make a movement. And they're very traditional, and this is the problem in the church. The problem in the church, the people who say they love God and they go faithfully and worship and praise, they don't show that same worship and praise to others outside the church. And not only that, not to themselves. So it's very difficult and challenging for them to show love to other people when they're not showing it to themselves. So what I'm saying is say that majority, about 90-some% people who go to church isn't right with God. They don't have that relationship. And the world will be way better because we don't need money necessarily from people who got millions of dollars or billions of dollars, or even from the government, when the money that we accumulate makes millions and billions and trillions of dollars as well. So that's what I'm going to say about that. And that's a factual fact. So, people talk about how much they go to church and how much they love Jesus and this and that third, but you don't love Jesus' people, which is all. See, Jesus wasn't racist. Since we're going to talk about Jesus, which is AKA Yahshua, AKA Osiris, because that's where that come from. We'll get into that another time, but man, I hope all is well, man. I hope somebody got something out of this. I hope that I at least touch somebody. If it's one person, I did my job. I can't worry about or make it be a concern about other people who choose to not listen or choose to walk away, but I'm gonna do my job. And this right here, what I'm doing, is what copycats wanna do. They wanna be me, for those who are doing it and did it and watched me and took notes and research and all that stuff. You can't be somebody else. I just don't understand how anybody can think they can be somebody else when that person already them and they also in their own body. And it's just sad. It's just sad. It's just sad to see so many people flock to the wrong things and corrupt their minds even more. You can learn something from everybody, you know what I mean? But people just feel like others or someone or this one or that one is better than this one or that one. Everybody got skills. Everybody got talents, gifts. It's not about anybody being better. It really boils down to who's genuinely, truly rocking with the Most High. But in due time, people will see. We ain't worrying about no wealth and stuff like that. We understand why we haven't had our wealth the way it's supposed to have been from not only now, but from the past, because a lot of spell work done against us so we wouldn't have it. And that we struggle and everything that we build up and so forth, so on, that we will lose it. Houses, cars, good relationships, or a relationship, prefer to be said, businesses, and passive income and etc. Creativity, ideas, and so forth, so on. So we finally realized so much stuff has been hidden and much more, man, but we're not interested in knowing everything. If it's meant for us to know about it, we'll know about it, and we'll move on, and we can learn, teach ourselves, teach, children if we got them, for those who do, and also teach others, those who are disciplined and prepared and ready to actually change their life. You know what I'm saying? I just see a lot of people, and I used to be one of the people who used to get upset with people who had more money. I learned that bad generational curse from the relatives who wasn't doing anything to make more money or to step out on faith and to research and get involved with other different things. They took shortcuts. They made money that way doing wicked stuff, but they ain't make money in a positive way that you see that's introduced to the world, that most of us feared, investing in stock market and etc., using them as an example, that we end up fearing, think we're losing money. We lose money because we're taking our paycheck or whatever source of income we're getting, and we're buying a bunch of junk and things and over and over and over, a recycling cycle over and over and over. That's all we're doing. And then, these few years have passed, and then we complain and tantrum and ranting and raving about money, but we keep giving it away. So because we keep giving money away to other people, we get mad at them because they rich. But it's not their fault. They just offering a service, and we're either buying it or overindulging in it. It's not their fault. And then your relatives, they didn't make it no better because they financially, spiritually, and physically broke. But they'll tell you about saving money, or tell you how you should go get some money, or tell you what job you should take, and this and that and the third. The job is not going to pay you enough wealth so you can be comfortable. It's just not. Even if you work 2-3 jobs, do the numbers, do the math. Do the numbers, do the math, and also put how much you're going to put away or how much you're going to take to put away. You know what I'm saying? It's $100, for example, for 40 years, it's $100 that you need to put away every week in order to have $1 million. By the time 40 years come and $1 million, $1 million is going to be like $1,000, because depending, if we go on the rate that we see, everything being expensive, then yeah, it's going to be that. Then, there's not even no more retirement. That's over with. I was talking to a guy this morning, about that. And you got to do your own retirement. You got to do your own investments. I'm telling you, if you think going out, breaking the law, committing a crime is going to solve it, you're just going to get a temporary fix. And after that's over with, you're going to be crying and thinking that people are supposed to help you, because now that you in jail because you done decided to make a mistake, that you was very fully aware that there was consequences behind it because you chose not to prepare yourself for a better present and future. And then you're going to want somebody to have some sympathy, and you want to then be in jail and fighting and all that stuff, taking out on other people, bullying, or you like, well, I'm going to steal while I'm in here. I'm going to take from the weak. You might take from the weak, but there's a spiritual ass kicking that's going to take you up out of here somehow, some way. Whether it's more time, rather it's your mental, rather it's your emotions, rather people gaslighting you, love bombing you, or people, 1 minute they answer the phone, the next minute they're not. 1 minute they sending you commissary, the next minute they're not. Or they send you commissary, and then when you finally come home, they leave you, and then you like stuck on stupid, like, dang, man, they held me down while I was in jail. They made sure I had money on my books and blah, blah, blah. But they don't even want me no more. Or they don't want to have nothing to do with me no more. Or they cheating, that's what you would call it. They're not cheating, they free from your ass. Y'all not in a relationship no more. You decided to go to jail instead of deciding to pick the relationship first. We're going to help people understand order. Whether people want to hear order or not, I promise you. The guy can have this vessel. Whatever he want this vessel to speak, that's what I'm going to speak. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to bring balance. There is no friendship on this planet besides with yourself. You be acquaintance with other people, but the friendship is with you. And if we go beyond that, it's with the Most High and your spiritual team. And trying to tell your knucklehead self, get it together. Why you think we had you to come to the planet? So you can break the generation curses. Get our generation of wealth that's been stolen from us through hexing and witches and warlocks and spells that have been done, and our own relatives who turned their back against us and cast spells and killed us off, you know, one by one, many by many. It's a lot of stuff, man. It's a lot of stuff to talk about. But anyway, peace and blessings all. Hope all is well. I hope that someone or many got many things out of this. Share with a friend, share with a family member, share with a social, share with a stranger. I'm Olabade Olugbsean, the chosen. Until next time.